Welcome back to Trip Talk Tech. We got a super dope show lined up for y'all today. We're going to be talking writing books. We're going to be talking social justice, especially on the healthcare side, diversity side of the house. We're going to be talking higher education. Joining us today is class of 2021 of Westfield High School in Houston, Texas. Their first African American male valedictorian ever. You only get one first out here, guys. 2021 Coca-Cola Scholar Award winner and author. Yes, author, eighth grade author. He did this in the eighth grade with his own book titled Thriving in My Own Lane. Please help me welcome to the show, Da'Vion Tatum, man.
Hello, how are y'all?
Welcome, man. How's it going today in Houston, Texas?
Pretty good. It's a little hot, but chilling.
Chilling, other than this being hot. Hey, look, man, at Trip Talk Tech, we love the show, love to the disruptors and the game changers out there. And you came up on our radar, number one, for that book that I just mentioned in the eighth grade. Again, you seen just some social justice things, you seen things that just wasn't right. And like we talked before the interview, I think for myself, yeah, we've all been there in the eighth grade, but we probably took the negative route. We probably got angry at the things we saw. And what you did was put pen to paper and really gave us a blueprint of kind of your personal memoirs and your testimony in a way that we can look at it and maybe relate, especially that eighth grader or that younger kid that can kind of take that wisdom. So definitely shout out to you for that. And second, 141 years your school, Westfield High School, has been in existence, and you the first one, bro.
Yeah.
And the thing with that is, yes, that is a great accomplishment personally, but I think bigger than that, I don't want to lose is the impact that that will have again for the next kid that might have that dream. Can I be a valedictorian? And then when they look at facts up, because you know how we gonna hit Google, and I see a face that looks like mine.
Yeah.
Guess what? I can do this. So man, you're inspiring. You're very just inspiring to me, and I'm an old head, and I've already been through and did all of that. But just to kind of see what you're doing and seeing the impact that you're going to leave way beyond you, man. Salute to you, young fella, and just keep up the great work.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Davion, look, we can jump right into it. I just mentioned, you wrote this book in the eighth grade. Now, like I said, in the eighth grade, the last thing on my mind was probably writing a book. So, like, you gotta let us know what inspired you. Where did that inspiration come from? How, what made you say, "Hey, I'm gonna just write a book"?
Yeah, honestly, I would look around like you mentioned and just see like the things that I didn't agree with, the things that I thought were unjust, the things I didn't like. And I
Mhm.
was like, man, like this can't be. And really the start of the book was from like more a place of confusion and frustration. The initial title was gonna be What do you see? So like what do you see when you look at me? Do you see the next president? Do you see the next physician? Do you see the next lawyer? Or do you see somebody who just has the perfect bill for the field, who can just be in sports, can just be, doing what society says I should do.
Mhm.
So that was like the initial like thought of the book. But as I was writing it, I was realizing like my message is more, it's more than just me, it's more than just what I saw and what I was doing, but more so like how my experience can then translate to other people. And I saw like, dang, I wasn't the only one feeling it. I wasn't the only one experiencing it. I had friends who would also complain about certain things. Like, man, I want to do this, I want to do that. But like, my people just want me to do this. My people just want me to do that. And I was like, no, like do what you want, like thrive in your lane. And that's where that came from, to call it thriving in my own lane and inspiring others to thrive in their own lane as well. And I feel like as I was writing it, that inspiration component, that inspirational component was what I wanted to put at the forefront. Like I wanted to talk about the issues, I wanted to address them, obviously, but I wanted to also inspire. I wanted you to read this book and see like, dang, you can relate to that problem, relate to that issue, but then at the end and towards the end, you can see a way out of it and a way to fix it. So that was kind of the basis of it.
Hey, and one thing you said that's definitely dope, and I think people need to number one go buy the book, but really see what you did there. And some books, some self help books, they'll tell us about the problem,
Mm,
they'll tell us their grand idea of, conceptually how we can solve this problem or maybe some ways to go about it. But you, like you said in this book, you went into let's deal with how to deal with this. And I think to give people the problem and an effective solution,
mm.
again, like you said, that's inspiring. That's an impact because, hey, you don't have to guess at this. I've been through it, and let me tell you how to fix it. Yeah, I know it's frustrating. Let me tell you how to fix it. And I think again, man, at that age, you just, I'm still blown away. And that's not to knock you. That's just to salute you. Now, great book to start. Are you thinking you ever do that again, or does the vibe got to hit you like last time? How does that work?
Honestly, I have been working on a second book. So just
Oh,
like this book has taken kind of the elementary to middle school and kind of seeing how like an eighth grader would deal with this, the book that I've been writing or the book that I'm like currently editing is taking on the high school component. So
okay.
Thriving in My Own Lane was the first installment, and then like the second would be what does that actually look like? I don't know, that's not the title, but I'm just saying
No,
like
I got you. I
the
got you.
overall would be like, what would that actually look like when you are thriving in your own lane? I ended the first book on let's see what that looks like going into high school. And in high school, like what does that path look like? Like how does that really manifest itself when you're thriving in your own lane, doing things that you feel you're passionate about, letting your passion drive you? What does that look like? Is it always easy? Probably not. Is it going to be some challenging times and some hurdles you have to jump over and get through? Absolutely. So I wanted to demonstrate that and show all of that, and then it would that book would end with me going to college, and then hopefully I'd write a book that
Oh,
encompasses college and how that works. So it was meant to be a three-parter when
I'm
I
about to say
started.
you got a whole trilogy going on. You did a whole Star Wars look go ahead. I see what you did. You just like, all right, I'm gonna leave y'all this, and then at the couch you go. All right, you
Yeah.
just built some revenue stream for the lifetime. All right, I got you.
Try.
I got the docu series. We'll do the docu series for you. We'll just take that and put it in video. Don't worry
Yes,
about it.
sir.
We got you. We got you. So to your point, and look, I'm right on flow with my questions because it's right here.
Mm,
So we fast forward to high school, right? You're out the eighth grade, you're Arthur, just regular life, like, for any old kid. Fast forward, you're at Westfield, right? Valedictorian. Like I said, the school's first. I always tell my kids it's only one first. You gotta love that. When I can look up and I see you the first is first. 41 years, this has never happened. First question, what does that mean to you? I know what it meant to me when I read it, but what does that mean to you? And second question, how much work and hard work and sacrifice did you have to kind of put in to get to that point, man? I know I really don't want people to just think, hey, you went and passed some tests and
mhm.
hey, you came out on top, man. What was that like?
Yeah. So to answer your first question, what does that mean to me? It was incredible, one, like, and I was just beyond honored to have even been able to receive such a title and to achieve that goal.
Mhm.
And I feel also though the you mentioned something earlier. You said how like a young kid will look and they'll look and say, "Oh, I want to be valedictorian," and they'll look and say, "Wow, he's someone that looks like me."
Mhm.
I feel like that more than anything was like my inspiration, like knowing that I was doing this not just for myself, but for other people who can look and say like, "Wow, I see myself in him. I can also achieve these goals." And the reason I think it means so much to me is because I went to my district, the district that Westfield in Spring ISD is a majority minority district, mostly Black and Hispanic students. So the fact that I was the first Black male valedictorian, although that was good for me and it,
That
it, it
says
like
something.
helped, it's also bittersweet,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of Black and
Us
Hispanic students.
there. And yeah.
So I was like, dang, that's bittersweet. But I'm glad that, and I said this in my speech, I'm glad that I'm the first, but I know that me being the first, I will not be the last. And that's what I hope to have inspired through my actions. And to your second question, I feel like the journey for me, I had
Hmm.
been putting in like work. I didn't know I was gonna be the valedictorian. I really didn't.
Hmm.
But I always like prided myself on just getting like really good grades, like always like giving 100% like on everything I did since like literally elementary school. Like
Gotcha.
I just had that. I just always was doing that. But when I got to high school, I remember like kicking it into overdrive, and it was a lot. it was not easy. It was not something that was just like, yeah, I just did it on the side. I'm just valedictorian on the side. No, it was it was a
How
lot,
many parties did you miss, man? How many
man.
times did people say
Hey,
you weren't cool and you
hey.
was doing too much?
I like how I was able to throughout high school. I was kind of like in that middle ground, like I was
Mhm.
cool, like all the quote unquote smart kids, cool with all the like quote unquote like bad kids. I didn't see all that like smart and bad. I just saw we all kids, man. But
At the
um,
end of the day.
at the end of the day, right? But I did have to like miss a lot of things that I thought was fun, like taking classes. I was taking a lot of just AP courses and all these dual credit classes that
Mhm.
kind of pulled me away from some of the friends I had back in middle school, and now I had like this new environment of people, new environment of friends, and it was it was a lot. It was a lot, but I feel like it was worth it in the end, and I feel like it didn't. I wouldn't say like it took away from my high school experience because I still had fun. I still look back and like, dang, that was cool, that was dope. But I
Mhm.
will say that I used high school more as like a stepping stone to like my future, if that makes sense. So it was
Now it makes a whole lot of sense.
yeah, it was more so like I'm using this. I'm here. Like I know, like we cool, but I'm passing through here because I need to gain. What I need to gain to help the people I want to help. So it was more. I more so looked at it like that to kind of cope with the fact that I was like having to miss certain things, not going to certain parties, like not being and not losing friends, but just not being around the same people I was once around and all that. So yeah,
Well, maybe you lost the right friends, and I think that's a good lesson in what you're saying right here. And that's no cuddling of your friends, so y'all don't come and throw no bad comments on my page. But what I'm saying is, and this is a life lesson, right? And this is something I had to learn. Those people that, again, they still might be your friends, and not to say that, hey, I cut them off and don't associate, but what you described is what happens in real life. As we keep climbing and we keep going a little higher, or things are different, right? Not that those people are any different from you. It's just you're taking AP classes. So your crowd that you're hanging around
yeah,
are doing AP work, right? If you ain't doing AP work, you don't understand the same homework struggles. You
yeah,
don't understand the same time struggles we have with studying. So you won't get why I can't go out.
right,
And to your point, to protect your dream, you have to navigate accordingly.
yeah,
It's not cutting them off. It's just managing my resources and my time. And all right, you might not fit this week. So, hey man, good job on that. Hey, in 2021, no, yeah, 2021, you were named the Coca-Cola Scholar. I mean, that looked like a pretty cool process. How did they get you? I mean, how was that? How was that whole experience, man?
So going in, right? This is kind of like a funny story. So going in, I didn't
Mhm.
know the Coke Scholar thing was as competitive as it was. I had no idea.
Okay.
And I feel like if I knew, I wouldn't have applied. But
Well,
going
let us know how competitive it is, because you
so
got a knack for beating the competition. So let's start here.
so only 150 students are chosen out of 99,000 that apply each year. And then of those 150, only five were selected to get like the surprise reward. So I think the thing you're mentioning or
So hold on. 5 out of 99,000.
yeah.
Dude, do you play the lottery? I'm just playing, mom. I'm just joking. Here you go. All right, so let's go back. Let's go back. Let's get focused. You one of five of 99,000. Go ahead.
Yes, so out of the 150, they chose five. So it's five out of the 99,000 that were able to receive the surprise award. So the surprise award is, I think, what you see like online,
Mhm.
where they gave me this big check and they had like me and the Coca-Cola the
Rap
bottling
sheet.
company, and yeah. And that was really cool. And the way it actually happened, my family knew, everybody knew but me that I got it.
The joke was
Um,
on you.
and they emailed them and they were like, "Hey," and then I got an email that actually said that I was a runner-up, that I was a finalist. Like, "Oh, we just wanted to like honor you for like your efforts." And I'm like, "Oh, like if I didn't get
They,
it, you
they
ain't
they
gotta like,
giving you a token trip to the
yeah, like
factory plant for applying.
if I didn't get it, you ain't gotta like do me like that. Like you just tell me." But so I go there and it's like, welcome, Davion Tatum and family. And I'm like, what is this? Like, this ain't no, what is this? So then they take me the whole tour and they ask me questions. They have like, and a bunch of like photographers around. And I'm like, what's going on? And then we walk through and I see like this chair and like this big ring light. And I'm like, what is that? And then I sit there and they're talking to me, and then the president of the Coke Scholar Foundation comes out with his big check, and they're like, congratulations. I'm like, oh my gosh, like what? So it was really cool. It was really cool,
That's
I must
dope,
admit.
man. That's dope. I'm glad you got to experience that, man. Look, you applied to 7 Ivy League colleges. I know you had a little difficulty with one, but let's stick to the 7 that you did, right? Including Harvard. Now I did some research of my own. 2021 Harvard's acceptance rate. That's why I said you got a green thumb somewhere. Um, was 5% out of 39,000 plus applications, and you was one of them dudes. You was that dude. You got that. That's a rare feat. Again, yeah, yeah. I mean, we seen scandals of people trying to get in those type of schools, right? They
Yeah.
want to get in bad. So you in rare air, right? How much? And number one, again, how did that make you feel when you just like, wow, I'm sure in your as much as you want it, that was one of those ones you wanted, but I'm gonna just reserve the right to feel okay if I don't get it
Yeah.
because it's Harvard, right?
Right.
But how do you feel when it's like it's Harvard and they looking at you like, yeah, we need you, we need that talent. And
Yeah.
then I think the second part about that, it's Harvard. So now that you're there,
Mm.
what is that like? How much work does that take? Is it really like what we think? Like, I mean, again, we on the outside. This is like you in the locker room. We want to know what really go on. Is it thick like they say,
Yeah.
or go?
Yeah, so to your first question,
Mhm.
how did that feel? Honestly, I didn't tell anyone that Harvard was my top school, right?
Okay.
I told people that MIT was my top school. I told people about like Stanford and stuff. I didn't tell anybody Harvard because I'm like, I don't think I'll get into Harvard. Like, I know I've done some stuff, but I mean, it's Harvard. Like, come
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah.
And I was like, dang, when I opened the letter, so my sister wanted to record, and I'm like, don't record. Like, I'm not gonna record my rejections. Like, what? She's like, Davi, just record. I got a good feeling. Just record. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll record, whatever. So I record, and to open out, I didn't even want to open it last. You know, how people like save like the
The
biggest one for
best
last.
go last.
I'm like, I'm not opening that one last because I'm not gonna end on a bad note. Like, I'm gonna open that one
I
like
get
number
it.
two or three. And I
I
opened it
get
like
it.
number two or three. Oh man, it was like, and I'm not the best at like showing like my reactions at like surprise emotions and stuff, but I
Mhm.
was like, yo, like what? And to get that and that feeling, that initial feeling to see the congratulations and like they got the confetti on the thing, I was like, man, ain't no way, ain't no
I know that
way.
was crazy, man.
And then that was just that moment, like that moment was just so cool. And I thank my sister for capturing it on video because I wasn't gonna record, but it was just
You was playing it safe.
yeah, I was playing it safe, you know. I didn't want that on record, but um and to your second point, now that I'm there, man, Harvard is hard. Uh like
All
I
right,
don't
you
know,
fact check, fact
like
check.
I don't know who said like this is gonna be easy, man. Like, nah, it's hard. It lives up to his name, to his
Okay,
reputation. It is
cool.
difficult. And I also think Harvard was a very humbling experience for me so far
Mhm.
because
Okay.
going in, like I kind of had this mindset, not on like any like cocky stuff, but I had this mindset like, oh, anything I put my mind to, like I can do, which I still have that
Yeah,
mindset.
yeah,
But
yeah.
now I understand that anything you put your mind to, there is sometimes an abundance of work, an abundance of difficulty that may ensue. And
Hmm.
pushing through that can be humbling. And
Yep,
having to
yep.
push through that and having your flaws be exposed, the things you may not be the best at be exposed and come to light as you're pushing through to your dream and to your goal. So I feel like that's what Harvard has done for me and showing me like, dang, I'm really because I'm on the pre-med track. So I'm really
Ooh.
like having to like dig and go. And I'm like, man, maybe I'm not as good at math as I thought I was. Or maybe I'm not. Like, so it's like that. And I think it's a beautiful, humbling moment though, because it's
Definitely.
showing me how I can grow, showing me like
Hmm.
where I can improve on, like things I can do better. And surprisingly, I thought I was gonna go there and like these he's gonna be like super competitive, like everybody's gonna be like, clawing for the top. It's really not. it's
Mm.
really more collaborative than anything, which was really surprising to me, a pleasant surprise. But I feel like even in that collaborative component, you're able to see how you fit in and how like each everybody brings something different. You know what I mean? Everybody like brings like a different I call it a different superpower to the team. Like everybody brings
Hmm.
something
Hmm.
different, something unique and something special. Which is just it's just beautiful and I love that. So
And like you said, I think that mentality also maybe comes from our environment, right?
mm,
And how we come up.
yeah,
It's a little different. We always gotta compete. Who's gonna get out of this situation with the
mm,
scholarship?
yeah,
Who's gonna get out of here with you gotta have the highest GPA out of all of us.
yeah,
Or you gotta have this out of the best basketball player out of all of us.
yeah,
So you so used to that mentality, and then you get into an environment that you even said thrives, but it thrives off of everybody bringing their best because
yeah,
we are different, right?
yeah,
Hey, if you can bring this and you bring that, now if we put this as a whole, like you said, we got Voltron, we got X-Men, and you're not, you know what I'm saying? You're not getting
Yep.
past that. So you're learning, man. You're learning how it really works. And again, to your point, you be the greatest. You in that environment,
Mm,
man, it's going to be over. Now, it's funny you talk about that environment because it kind of rolled right into my next question. And I know, like you said it's a lot of work, which I'm sure generates a little bit of anxiety, a little
mm,
bit of pressure, right? And pressure just self built, right? Hey, look, I got this to do. Again, to your point, maybe I'm not competing, but I have to bring my best self to the team, and
yeah.
this might take X. Um, do you or how do you employ any kind of mental health kind of practices or things to just get through that student load, and I'm
Mm,
asking you that to help out maybe other students in your same
right.
situation in college that feel like, oh my God, what I'm gonna do. How does Davion handle that?
Um, Davion sleeps.
Hey, that's a good one. People think, sleep deprivation, that's the number one killer.
Hey, Davion sleeps. When he needs his rest, he
Mhm.
takes his rest. If he's like a social battery, I can't because I've already had to deal with all this workload, all this homework. Like I can't really go out tonight. I can't really do this. I need to sleep. I need my rest. I need my break, you know. And I lived on the first floor, so my room became like the catch-all room for people. They were knocking on my door. It was just too much. I'm like, I need to sleep. Like y'all leave me alone.
Not
Um,
tonight.
like not tonight, but like that, I think that and also just kind of finding a way to detach, you know what I mean? Like finding something that you enjoy doing, something you do that takes your mind away from the rigor of being at Harvard or being wherever,
Mhm.
being in college, being in a new situation, whatever that may be, that takes away from the rigor of like transition and the rigor of this new experience. And taking your mind away from it and being able to pull away and find something that like just brings you joy. Like in this moment, you can just be joyful and just happy and like just, doing this. Like I'm doing this
Mhm.
right now. So I think that's a major component also. But me personally, I sleep a lot.
You sleep a lot.
Yeah.
So, what are some things that interest you that when you detach, if you can share with us?
So, I actually started singing a little bit
Okay.
since I've been
All
up
right,
there.
all right.
I can't sing. It's early. I can't sing right now.
All
But
right, that's cool. That's cool. We ain't gonna put you on the spot.
I started singing when I was up there, and I found music to be very interesting and a very interesting like detach for me.
Okay.
I also found like binge watching shows that like are surrounded with things that I enjoy. So like Grey's Anatomy, like the doctors, right? And I'm like,
Okay.
hey, that could
Dr.
be
Gray. All right. So,
like that could be me one day if I keep, if I keep going. But just different things like that. I'm trying to think, what else do I do? Let me see. Um, I know that me and like my close friends that I made up there, we have like just study break times, like just straight up
okay.
like, hey yo, Friday we ordering Wingstop, we like going in the common room, no
Just
work,
relax.
we just chilling, relaxing, you know. I
That's what's
brought my
up.
video game up there at one point, but then like one second semester hit and then finals, I was like, I ain't got time for this.
Had to ship it back
Yeah,
home.
they send it back. But even stuff like that, like little things that you may like overlook. I know a friend who he meditates. Like that's what he does. Like
I do too.
he
That's what I do.
meditates. And I'm like, can you like teach me how to do that? Because I don't know. Like I feel like if I meditate, I go to sleep. But he meditates and he feels like that really is what balances him, keeps him balanced, and keeps him like where he needs to be. with
Yeah,
everything. So I feel like it's just a bunch of different things, and especially finding people who also understand that rigor and understand like what you're going through. Y'all can collectively find ways to detach, and collectively find ways to kind of break away from the day-to-day things and just be like, hey, like in this moment we cool, we chilling, we just vibing.
that's it. That's it, man. Got to detach. You made a great point with that. Look, Davion, they say it takes a village to raise a child, right? Who were and like I said, you got some pretty dope accomplishments. I know your village is just cheesing, standing on top of the roofs of the village, and they letting them know you coming. Who you got to thank to help you push through and get some of those challenges that you had to come to and overcome to get to what you got?
Yeah, I definitely got to thank my immediate family. So, like my mom, my dad, and
Yeah.
my sister,
Mhm,
because they have really been my foundation.
mhm.
I want to give a special and long overdue thanks to my dad, though, because Father's Day is tomorrow. So, I want them to watch this and see this.
Thanks, Dad. We appreciate you, Dad.
Thank you, Dad. Because, sometimes the things that are done in the background and the things that people don't always see, they go overlooked, and
That's
that
it.
you don't really like sometimes you don't feel like you're being remembered in what you do. So I want to
Mhm.
make sure that my dad knows that I remember him. I do, and I know what you do, and I appreciate you, and I love you, Dad. So,
That's dope. We
yeah,
love you, Dad. He's a great kid, man. You did a great job, Dad.
yeah.
Cool, man. Look, how does like what you're doing at Harvard right now? I know you said you're pre-med. I know you we talked about some of the awards and you can talk about them that you're kind of working through on the civil side of the medicine house. Um, but how does with the work and the things that you're getting involved in at Harvard, especially in this tough environment already, how does that coincide with your overall purpose in life?
Mm, that's a good question. So I usually try, I hope this doesn't sound too cliche, but I usually try to like allow my passion to lead what I do and to
Okay.
lead like the endeavors that I go into so that everything that I do kind of overlaps with what I feel my purpose is.
Mhm.
So to that point, like my interest in global health, health policy, medicine, that came as a result of me really wondering and asking like, what am I supposed to do? Like I like science, but I also understand like there are some social issues and social things we have to fix and reform. Like how does this like intersect and where can I intersect this? And I remember taking my first one of the first classes I took at Harvard, my freshman year, first semester, was a class in global health, and it was called "Who Lives, Who Cares, and Who Dies." And
Mhm.
it was basically saying like we look at global health and we look at health as just being like biological, like oh if you're sick it's because of this illness, or if you need treatment, you need this medication. But
Mhm.
they were shedding more of like a social light to it and saying like yeah, but you have social determinants of health and how people the environments they live in can dictate their health outcomes or their access to health care or their access to certain treatments. And I feel like that kind of spoke to that intersection, that I was talking about. So now I see myself kind of intersecting medicine and law at like health policy and global health and policy reform. And also, I was thinking like I don't have like a name for it yet, but it's just been on
Mhm.
my heart to do a nonprofit that kind of or to start a nonprofit that kind of encompasses all of like my passions and all the things that I want to do and just everything that I've done. I want it to be under like one umbrella or one big thing, like, through my nonprofit and just able to spearhead that and spread that. Um, but yeah, I feel like everything that I do, everything that I try to do, is linked some way to like what I'm passionate about.
My God, man, you gonna get there. So just put it on paper. I know it's coming. Whatever that nonprofit is, I know it's gonna go up. All right, man. Two more questions, and I'm gonna let you get out of here. What's next for Davion, man? What you got coming? I know you said you working on. I love the trilogy. That was just a super dope idea. Eighth grade, you already planned the Star Wars, so you got the high school memoirs might be dropping. What you got after that, man? What you got?
So I'm going into research. So I'm actually in it right now. I'm doing some
Mhm.
research about, as I mentioned, the racial health disparities in medicine and in our health systems. I've connected with certain doctors and Harvard Medical School professors to further that research. So research is going to be like a big part of, I know, my continuing my summer and going into this fall semester.
Mhm.
I also see myself getting more involved in like the policy aspects of things. If you ask any of my family members, I've never been into like policy and politics and all that stuff, but I do see the importance of it. And if I really want to like bring about change or like change how things are taught and change how things are viewed, we'd have to get some policy changes in place. So I do see myself joining like the Institute of Politics and different things like that. But really, the overarching thing that I'm gonna do is just keep following my passions and keep letting those passions lead me. Keep trying to be on the right path, the path that God wants me to be on, just making sure that I'm doing the right things. And yeah, just helping people. I don't think there's nothing wrong with helping people. Like I think we
At
live here
all,
to help
man.
people, man.
It always come back tenfold. So you got the right mentality, man. You all over it. Man, look, you killed it today, but we got to ask you this last question. We ask all our guests. Favorite pair of tennis shoes all time, man.
Oh, hey, Concord 11s.
Concord 11s. Okay, I like them. The grapes. We like it. We like it. We like it. The Concord 11s. We gonna definitely throw them up for you, man. Davion, like I said, man, just impressive young man. Um, just sky's the limit, bro. Just keep pushing the help, keep pushing the narrative to change the narrative. You're already there, man. You've done it. You've done it already. You set the foundation to keep doing it, and I think your work is definitely inspiring. What you're doing is inspiring. Again, remember you're human. Things happen. I know you're not perfect, but to this point, you've led just a beautiful example for the young men behind you to just strive to do much more. And again, we rocking with you here. I know you got a lot of people rocking with you in Houston, Texas. So Houston, Texas, proud. We throwing up. We saying what's up. We salute y'all. Y'all really got some gems. Man, thank you for joining the show, man. I appreciate you, Davion.
Thank you. It was an honor, man. Thank you.
Hey, no problem. It's Trip Talk Tech, y'all.